Yes, fight fans, body and mind, sports, my people. You are fully appreciated in this round, my guys, my people. So, before we start this one, I would just like to say I hope you guys are doing absolutely well and are enjoying what boxing has in store for us fighting fans, my guys, my people, because I can tell you now, for real, the way I feel, boxing is in an absolute healthy, not only in a healthy place in terms of the fights that we are getting, but the fact that we got all the top promotions under one umbrella, which is the zone, is just absolutely epic for us to get the best matchups going forward. Should the promotions work amicably together, right? Yeah, that said, let's start with Zayas versus Jerome Ennis at 154. Both fighters, they have confirmed that negotiations has crossed the line. First, it was confirmed by Zayas via social media, where he stated, quote, "Signed, sealed, and delivered. We have got a fight." Close quotations. Boots himself, he followed up with his own post, stating, quote, "Two-way undisputed champion." Close quotation. So that is Boots there, hinting that he already has the win in the bag, and he's pursuing ambitions of becoming a two-way undisputed champion, my guys, my people. I say, let's get it, my guys, my people. Let's get it. That said, though, it is not official that this fight is a done deal. So we will have to wait for the official announcement before we can make a final confirmation on that, my guys, my people. But I do think this is a huge climb uphill for Zayas, albeit he is the unified champion with the WBA and the WBO strap. He would be the man to command the lion's share in this, right? Because Ennis, he is the interim champion for the WBA, so he is, after all, Zayas's mandatory. But Zayas has never fought an opposition even close to the caliber of Jerome Ennis. Not even close. Not even close. Zayas, also 23 years old, my guys. So still very, very young. Very much a developing fighter. And I can't see this any other way but to see Ennis as the huge favorite in this. My guys, my people. Now it's no surprise that Zayas was actually pursuing this this fight here, even though he had another option in Josh Kelly, the IBF champion, who was providing an opportunity for Zayas to become a free belt unified champion, right? So that would have given him the opportunity, well, to be one step away from being undisputed. Just one step away from being undisputed. So I wonder why he's chosen to take this huge risk, even though Jerome Ennis would offer a much bigger fight than the Kelly fight. It is still a huge risk. I just can't see him winning. My guys, my people. But listen, Zayas is a brave kid, as we know. He was ready to step in to replace Jerome Ennis when he stepped out of his 2025 bout. That was in February 2025. It was supposed to happen on the Last Crescendo fight card, right? But when Boots stepped out, well, it was Zayas that volunteered to take Boots' position to fight Ortiz. But that opportunity, was passed back over him and given to Majumov instead, right? So yeah, this is a very brave kid. This is a very, very brave kid. So it's no surprise that he is actually pursuing Boots. And Top Rank, they don't often get things wrong either. After all, they are known to be the best scouters of young talent, the best at developing that young talent to their full potential and becoming the biggest star that they can actually make him. So yeah, I would assume that Top Rank not minding this fight either, because if Zayas is to fight Boots and then lose to Boots, being that he's only 23 years old, Zayas, this would be the best time for him to lose to Boots. The impact of a loss wouldn't be as bad if he fought Boots later on along the line, because the excuse would be now if he fights Boots and lost, the excuse would be that he's still a developing fighter. So I kind of get the play here by Top Rank. I do kind of get the play. And also, listen, if they're to give us this fight now, you know, seeing that they've just signed their deal, their multi-year deal with the Zone, my guys, my people, and all the promotions, the top promotions are now under that the Zone umbrella. What a way to kickstart things with a big fight with Boots and Zayas. What a way, my guys, my people. Now, so what does that now mean for Josh Kelly? Because Eddie Hearn was saying that Kelly was already signed to fight Boots Ennis, my guys, my people. Well, it turned out that it wasn't a legally binding contract, and Eddie Hearn is getting too used to doing these non-legally binding contracts, my guys, my people, which he needs to put a stop to. He needs to put a stop to, because when he says a fight is signed, let it be that it is a legally binding contract, so we actually get the fight. So we actually get the fight, my guys, my people. So yeah, if Zayas and Boots is true, then it would mean a change of plan for Kelly. That would mean Boots gone for Kelly, Zayas gone for Kelly as well. Now the other opportunity left now is, of course, Sebastian Fundora, right? I've thought about other names as well. I do have at least 2 more names in mind, but I'm gonna leave it for another video just to save some time, my guys, my people. Yeah, so Sebastian Fundora, if he's brave enough to fight the IBF, or should I say the WBC champion, my guys, who just totally, oh man, messed up Keith Thurman. I'm not sure whether Keith Thurman would be the same again going into future fights. Keith Thurman, who came into this fight with plenty of inactivity on his back, you know, having fought just once in 3 years, right? And the fight that he had going into the Fundora fight was against a blown up 154-pounder in Brock Jarvis. So not good preparation for a Fundora fight. And I was surprised that Keith Thurman, in the 6th round, when the ref actually stopped his fight with Fundora, he was complaining to the ref that the ref should have allowed it to carry on. Get out of here, Keith Thurman, man. Get out of here, because listen, we are here to watch a fight, not watch a fighter attempt suicide. He was clearly beaten, and it was getting very, very dangerous for him in there. If he didn't know that, well, I'm telling him now. It was getting very dangerous for him, my guys, my people. But if Kelly is brave enough to go against Sebastian Fundora, the anomaly in the division, standing at 6'6", and possibly the most dangerous fighter in the division, possibly the most dangerous and the best fighter in the division, all right. Of course, Ennis would have something to say about that too, right? But if Kelly is brave enough to take a Fundora fight, there's a chance there for him to unify. There is a chance there for him to unify, my guys, my people. Now, let's talk Virgil Ortiz, who was the initial man, you know, that started negotiations with Boots Ennis before any other name, right? But of course, that negotiations there was halted because Boots entered litigations with Golden Boy Promotions and Oscar de la Hoya to end their contract. After the Zone also ended their contract with Oscar de la Hoya, but now that contract has been re-extended, so he's now good with the Zone, Oscar de la Hoya. But however, with this litigation case still ongoing, in fact, it has been pushed into arbitration, right? But until arbitration can decide, Ortiz can't go out of his contract with to make negotiations with third parties to make a fight without Oscar de la Hoya or Golden Boy involved. And Golden Boy is making the situation very, very difficult. Oscar is blaming Rick Meridian, Ortiz's manager, for being the one wrongly advising Ortiz to pursue Golden Boy with litigations, my guys, my people. So yeah, he's saying Meridian has totally effed up Ortiz's career now. And this is the stuff I don't like about boxing. Everything is sorted now, right? With the Zone. We have all 4 promotions, major promotions under the Zone. Now this is the best time to make that fight. This is the perfect opportunity here to make boxing greater than ever. To make boxing greater than ever. Not be putting barricades in the way, my guys, my people, like Oscar is doing. I hope they can sort things out amicably, him and Team Ortiz, my guys, so that we can get this fight. Obviously, we're not gonna get it now, but maybe at the end of the year, or early 2027, right? Yeah, hopefully they can sort it out for the sake of the fans, for the sake of boxing, my guys, my people. Now, with that said, should we move on to Dave Allen versus Filip Hrgović? It is signed and sealed and is going to be delivered for the 16th of May. All right. It will be in Doncaster at the 15,000 capacity Echo Power Stadium, my guys, my people. I say let's get it, my guys, my people. However, Dave Allen has been proven after he got battered by Islanbek Magmadov that he's nowhere near world level, and yet he's going up against Hrgović, who is just who's a higher caliber fighter than Magmadov is. So I can only see this going one way. Dave Allen getting a total beating and collecting a check. This is what this is about. Dave Allen, who really doesn't make much of an effort to be match fit. He's always coming in out of shape, right? Doesn't always deliver in his performances either. And I'm quite surprised why the fans are still, backing him enough to be able to hold a fight at a 15,000 capacity vicinity venue, right? Crazy. Of course, his 2 wins against Johnny Fisher would have kept his profile relevant. But aside from that, Dave Allen, who has a record 25 wins, 8 losses, 2 draws, and 20 coming via KO. He's still got power, right? But he's no Chisora. Even though Chisora has way more losses, there's real logic behind why Chisora is still a fan favorite over here. But I can't see the logic with the lazy couch potato in Dave Allen. Seriously can't see the logic, my guys, my people. But yeah, he's fighting on the 16th of May. I say let's get it, because I just love boxing, my guys, my people. Now, with that said, should we move on? The debate is on about young Moses Itauma, 21-year-old prodigy, my guys, my people. He is absolutely phenomenal. So much of a phenom that I've coined him the name the weapon of imminent destruction, simply because of the imminent power that he displays. You know, you just don't know when he's gonna strike before he knocks out his next opposition. Just like he showed us, you know, against Jermaine Franklin this past weekend, and has been showing us in his previous fights, although at a very much lower level. But with Franklin, this was somebody that was brought in to give him rounds, right? Franklin, who gave AJ rounds, 12 complete rounds, who gave a much fresher Dillian Whyte rounds, my guys, my people. 12 complete rounds, and possibly beat him as well. Didn't get the win, but he possibly beat him as well. Itauma stopped him in 5, my guys, my people. In 5. It delivered a vicious uppercut that had Franklin out on his feet, and then mercilessly delivered a right hand that had me afraid for you know, Jermaine Franklin. Just totally put him flat, face planted him on the canvas. Crazy stuff, absolutely crazy stuff, my guys, my people. So after all of that excitement, the talk now is he ready for Usyk? I say he's ready. I'll say he's ready. But let's just have him in 1 or 2 fights just to level him out a little bit. See him how he looks like against a real world level opposition, because Franklin, although close to the doors of world level, is really a fringe level fighter, a fringe world level fighter. Not quite world level, my guys, my people. But the way he dealt with him, man, nobody has ever dealt with Franklin like that before. Franklin, who has never been stopped in his career, my guys, my people. Crazy stuff. Yeah, but yeah, before Usyk, I think he can beat Usyk. I ain't gonna lie, I think he can beat Usyk. But that's not a foregone conclusion, you know. I think skill-wise, speed, youth, agility, movement, to me, he's better than Usyk. Power, you know. But listen, as we saw with Fabio Wardley and Justice Hooney, you can be the most skilled fighter, but there are other, you know, intangibles that you will have to possess in order to actually clinch a victory. As you know, Fabio Wardley showed us against Justice Hooney, right? All it took was 1 punch for him to erase everything that Justice Hooney did on that night against Fabio Wardley. And the same could be the case in a scenario with Usyk and Moses Itauma as well, because Usyk is by far the most experienced, right? And right now is recognized as the king of the division, as the best fighter in the division, my guys, my people. He could use that experience. That experience could be something that could prove too much for Moses Itauma. You know, I must say though, listen, Usyk possibly has the best chin in the heavyweight division. Possibly has. Nobody talks enough about how good Usyk's chin is. He's taking full pelt punches from arguably the biggest puncher in the heavyweight division. That is Daniel Dubois. Another arguably the biggest puncher in the division, Anthony Joshua, who's breaking jaws. Who's breaking jaws, my guys, my people. And he did it with Fury as well, who's not a bad puncher, you know, and big man at that, you know. And he not only faced them, I mean, he faced them twice each, my guys, my people. And then on top of that great chin of his, he's also got great stamina He doesn't stop moving. He doesn't stop moving. And in the Franklin fight, we did see Moses Itauma blowing a bit, isn't it? I don't think it's because of fatigue as such. Maybe nervous energy he was burning because of you know, that's the biggest night, the biggest well, for him anyway, is the biggest fight that he's been in, where he is headlining, my guys, my people. So yeah, that could have been the case. So however, these intangibles may prove to be too much for Itauma on the night. We may never know. But on face value, I gotta say though, Itauma is a totally gifted fighter. Very, very gifted, and could in fact be better than Usyk. And so the talk now is, who should he actually fight next? Before we even talk about Usyk. Right? For one, we know he wants Hrgovic. We know he wants Hrgovic. Hrgovic, of course, is fighting Dave Allen, as I've mentioned. You know, but after he faces Dave Allen, maybe somewhere along the line, they can make that fight, my guys, my people. But previous to him fighting Jermaine Franklin, Itauma has also mentioned interest in Ajit Cabello, that he wouldn't mind traveling to Germany to fight Ajit Cabello, the interim WBC champion. Great position for Cabello to be in as interim champion. I should think he would want to trade that interimship for a title first before he thinks about Itauma, all right? You know, but that's a great fight. I would love that fight. Another name, Zhilei Zhang. I think this is the best time if he wants to catch Zhilei Zhang. If that team want to catch Zhilei Zhang, this would be the best time. Zhilei Zhang has not fought in over a year. His last fight was a defeat to Ajit Cabello in February of 2025, my guys, my people. And Zhang too is like, what, 41, 42 years old? It's the best time to catch him, but he is a huge puncher. He is a huge puncher, my guys, my people. Who else can I think about? Bakoli. What the hell has happened to Bakoli? We ain't heard nothing of this man who we know to have a huge mouthpiece. We all know about his stories of his undefeated record in sparring wars. But now we don't hear nothing of him. What's happened with Bakoli? I mean, that would be a great fight with Itauma. And it is something that has been discussed before too. You know, this was before Itauma actually went ahead and fought Balogun. Right? So beats me what's happened, man. Bakoli can be a handful for anybody. Let me just set that straight. That is if, of course, he comes in match fit and is not bloated to more than 300 pounds, my guys, my people. If he comes in at his optimum weight, he will be a great fight. He will be a great fight, my guys, my people. And risky too, and risky. By the way, all these fights that I've mentioned would be risky fights, my guys, my people. Who else? Gassiev, the WBA interim. Now, he stole the opportunity for Itauma to possibly hold that position that Gassiev holds right now, because Itauma was supposed to fight Pulev, the man that Gassiev beat to get his regular title. So that should be a reason for Itauma to fight him, isn't it? That should be a good, strong enough reason to fight him. Team Gassiev too, they want that fight. Well, they are exploring the idea, my guys, my people. Now Gassiev is a very, very experienced fighter. You know, former champion at cruiserweight. He was dethroned by Alexander Usyk, so of course he would be offering a good measuring stick, you know, as to how Usyk and Itauma might look like, right? And having said that, Zhilei Zhang too could also offer a measuring stick as to how Itauma and Cabello might look like, my guys, my people. Another name could, of course, be the likes of Andy Ruiz. Andy Ruiz. But Andy Ruiz is with Zufar, isn't it? You know, he's with Zufar. Should he do Andy Ruiz bad? and that, man, then it would be absolutely confirmed that he can fight Usyk. You know, it will be absolutely confirmed then. You know, Andy Ruiz, who in his first appearance of Anthony Joshua, just took him out. Took out Anthony Joshua, my guys, my people. And this was a 300-pound odd Andy Ruiz, my guys, my people. Absolutely crazy. Out of shape Andy Ruiz, right? But yeah, Ruiz now is with Zufar, and Zufar very much isolated, you know, because of the stance that they came into boxing with, that they don't want to work with any of the sanctioning bodies, and in fact they want to get rid of the other promotions and run boxing by themselves. That's not something that everybody that any of the old established promotions are going to want to see thrive, right? They're not going to want to see Zufar thrive. So I doubt if they would want any of their fighters to fight a Zufar fighter, you know. But yeah, you could become a champion though, Itauma, you know, in no time, if he gets the winner of Dubois and Fabio Wardley. Of course, Wardley is a no-no because they both belong to the same gym, and they both trained by Davidson, who doesn't want that fight. So let's cross out Wardley for now, the WBO champion. But should Dubois beat him when they meet, instant stadium fight. Instant stadium fight if Dubois and Itauma fight. Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, easily, my guys. Now, other names we could consider for Moses. How about the winner of Richard Torres and Frank Sanchez, who are fighting for the IBF Eliminator? Now, that fight was supposed to be in the undercard of Thurman Fundora, but it was well, it's been postponed, right? Due to a knee injury sustained by Frank Sanchez, who's been having, well, this would be a reoccurring knee injury, you know. So I'm not sure how physically fit and healthy Frank Sanchez is, and if he is to go on and beat the likes of Torres, I'm not sure whether I want to see him and Itauma. I think Itauma just totally runs through him, obliterates him, and will give us no measuring stick as to how he might do against Usyk. Now, should Torres win, I like that fight. I like that fight. Torres, a rising prospect himself, has fought at a higher level than Moses Itauma, because he's gone on to beat Gideon Vinella, who was a nightmare for FA Jaguar, even though FA Jaguar beat Gideon Vinella. But I just feel that Torres, I would like that fight to wait. I would like to see it wait. I want Torres to, I want the youngest to go through the oldest first before they start meeting one another. Other two names, Jared Anderson, who is fighting in May. Is fighting in May in the undercard of Dubois and Wardley, my guys, my people, is going up against Sol Dakers. Again, I would like to see an Anderson who's in form. Remember, his last real fight was against Bacoli and he got totally obliterated. He did bounce back with a win against a Greek fighter. Can't remember the name. Was quite competitive, but I would like to see him in form. I want to be convinced that he's in form before he fights Moses Itauma, my guys. And again, he's another younger. Who else? Of course, Hooney, who is fighting Fraser Clark in the undercard of Fury and Magmadov, my guys, my people. Again, Hooney, after his loss to Fabio Wardley, I would like to see him against somebody who is a step up from Fraser Clark. You know, I want to see him against somebody who's world level and see him win before I see him with Moses Itauma. I ain't gonna lie, but stylistically, that's a great fight. That is a super great fight. Uni is second to none when it comes to boxing. second to none. I'll probably say just as good as Moses Itauma, except that Rooney, he's got that suspect chin and the power ain't all there, my guys, my people. So Itauma does possess other intangibles that of course Rooney does not. But Rooney could be a problem. May not know, my guys, my people. But as far as these youngers go, I would like to see them face the old guards and beat one or two of them before they fight Itauma, my guys, my people. Itauma too, who needs at least one or two scalps from the old guards before we consider him an Usyk, my guys, my people. Anyway, that's my take, but you guys tell me what you think, my people. Now, with that said, that's all I have for you on this one. Before you leave, do like, share, subscribe, of course, drop your comments below, my guys, my people. And as always, stay super blessed, and I'll catch you on the next one. And thank you for watching, my guys, my people. We out of there. Stay blessed.